Me back again. Mm.
For almost 50 years, families of this South London suburb have called the Eastfields estate their home. But time has not been kind. And inside these three-storey blocks, owned and managed by Britain's biggest housing association, their tenants feel as tired and neglected as the crumbling buildings they're
The fuck is that? That looks like expanding foam. Okay, no.
forced to live in. Mum of three, Juliet Arthur, and her husband work 3 jobs between them to afford the £1,300 a month Clarion housing charge to live in this.
This is where the hole is.
Oh, wow. A leak in her living room she first reported in June 2020 went unfixed, so in November the ceiling caved in, inches from where her son was doing schoolwork.
Imagine having your child sitting there under a roof and it just dropped.
The roof, not the ceiling, you know, the roof. Allow her, she's foreign, allow her.
So then the little one came, Mommy, the roof has come down.
Do you worry about their safety when you're not here?
Every day.
7 months on, the hole remains, and the leak has plunged the house into darkness.
That ain't a hole. I don't know what word to use, yeah, but that ain't a hole. Yeah, that's a fucking missing ceiling to blood clot, not a hole, you know. A hole is something that, you get me, is relatively small. Well, in certain situations anyway, innit? But it ain't that. That is fucking, the ceiling's missing, it ain't a hole.
None of the lights upstairs have worked since November, including the children's bedroom.
My mum keep on calling them, and they're not like messaging or calling, saying, "Oh, we're going to be coming." Yeah.
But my problem is, okay, your council's not doing jack shit about the problems in the yard with the ceiling, with the electrics and that. Blood, these people have got time to sit on YouTube and Instagram and do all this bullshit, yap, chat to their friends and that, but they can't repair the ceiling themselves. I'm telling you, to repair that ceiling, to do a temporary box job is easy. All they'll need to do is go down to fucking B&Q and buy a piece of plasterboard. Buy a piece of plasterboard for £5. If you can't get the entire sheet of plasterboard because it comes big, plasterboard is the size of walls and that because it's made to go on the walls. If they can't buy, when they buy the sheet of plasterboard, if it's too big to fit in their car, they can break it down into pieces. All they need to do is watch a video on YouTube, how to fit plasterboard to a ceiling, and literally they just need a sheet of plasterboard which they can break down into smaller pieces, a screwdriver, and some screws, and they can put that up. Yeah, it's going to look shit. It's going to be a temporary job. All it is, it's not going to look like the ceiling. Yeah, the ceiling is white. The plasterboard typically comes in a grey colour. It's going to look shit, but at least there will be a fucking ceiling. With the electrics, okay, your housing provider, your landlord, whoever the council is or housing association is, yes, they're not dealing with the problem. You ain't got no electrical, all your lights upstairs are not working for whatever reason. Why don't you fucking call an electrician in to come and assess and sort out the problem? It might cost you £200. What, you ain't got £200 out of your pocket to pull out? I know. It's not your job to sort out the electrics in that. But bro, you're going to be in total darkness upstairs because you can't bother to pull out £200. I tell you what the problem is. They're broke. I'll tell you how I know they're broke. If they was on £100,000 salary a year, do you think they'll be having this problem with lights not working upstairs? There you go. It's a money issue. Fuck your landlord and that. You need to take things into your own hand. I'm not talking about no 4 or 5 grand repairs and that. What? £200 to call out an electrician? What the fuck, man?
No, they don't.
On the other side of the estate, Janet is working 2 jobs to pay for a Clarion flat that is falling apart.
Whoa.
She shows us the squalor that is her rotting, broken bathroom, and the kitchen where she cooks for her family, crumbling around her.
Yeah, but that's dirty though. Like, right, why have they not decided to paint over the dirt and that? So these people are actually dirty people as well, innit? It's not because the council's not just repairing the shit and that. Look how dirty the house is. They could have bought paint and painted the fucking walls. Yeah, the kitchen is fucked. The kitchen is falling apart, but do what you can. You can paint. Yeah, they could have painted and made those walls clean. But no, we leave it to the council because they're dirty people. It's not all the council's fault.
The ceiling's covered in mould. The wall.
I would paint over that fucking mould.
Walls full of holes she's had to fill in herself to keep out a growing infestation of mice.
And the mouse come from this hole.
What, the mouse come through here?
Yeah. The mouse
So
come.
is this cement?
Yeah.
Look at the Ross Clark grease on the wall, fam. Look at where the guy's hand is. Yeah? Look at where his arm is stretching over the top of the hob. Look at all the Ross Clark grease on the wall. These people are dirty. It's not just the council and that. They're dirty. Do you think any of the walls in my yard look like that, blood?
It's a cement.
Did you do this?
Yeah, I do it.
What is that?
It's a hole.
Why is there a hole there?
I don't know. When I come, it was here.
So it's been like that for 27 years?
Yes.
Oh, come on. In 27 years, you couldn't be bothered to get someone out. Like, you couldn't save up £5 a week for 27 years to pay for someone to come out and fix up your property. Come on, man. These people are just dirty, man. That's where it is,
Have
blood.
you told them about the problems in here?
I told them.
Ah!
I told them.
I told them. Let's see her name. Let's check out her name. Oh, that one said. I told them. Janet. I think she might be from Ghana, you know.
You told them about the problem.
I'm not too sure. You know, with Ghanaian people, like, their names are bait. Like, anyone with a last name like Pong or something like Aken Pong, Frim Pong, whatever, innit? You know they're Ghanaian and that, but I don't know. I don't know where she's from.
Problems in here.
I told them.
Ah!
I told them. So they don't care. They don't care.
Janet isn't the only tenant to report a rodent problem to Clarion.
Oh!
Eastfield's residents shared with us video after video of mice
Fuck
and rats in their
that,
kitchens,
blood.
their bedrooms and their bathrooms. Clarion has promised to regenerate this estate and move tenants into new properties, but the dozens of tenants...
Merton. So, yeah, obviously, that must be in southwest London. Probably kind of near, like... where's Merton? I'm trying to think. What's that fucking area like? Around like Two Inn, Putney, them kind of areas there. You South London people, tell me what areas fall underneath the Merton Borough, Merton Council, yeah? Because I'm guessing it's like Two Inn or Putney or one of them places there. Because I can see on that brown bin it says Merton. Got fucking good eyes, blood.
we spoke to in the 2 weeks we spent here say that promise was first made 6 years ago and still no one has been moved.
That leaking water.
Why have so many Clarion tenants been left to live in Eastfields in such squalor for so many years?
Getting the balance right between how much you spend in the short and the long term on an estate that ultimately has come to the end of its life is difficult. I'm absolutely clear that we have not got the balance right on the Eastfields estate, and I'd like to apologise on behalf of Clarion to all of those residents.
Tenants think that you think they aren't important. They complain for years and nothing really gets fixed. Then we turn up and suddenly things start to get fixed.
Yeah.
And they look at that and they think, oh no, we were right, we don't matter to them.
Yeah.
They're right, aren't they?
I and the senior management team are completely committed.
Because when you bring in the professionals and outsiders and that, now it's a problem, yeah? Now it's a problem, yeah? You can't hide all of the badness and all them things there. You can't sweep the dirt under the carpet no more. You ever noticed in school when they had Ofsted coming in? You remember Ofsted? They're like the police of the school department. When Ofsted come in to do their inspection and that, all the teachers and that the night before, the week leading up, they're cleaning the school. You get me? Cleaning all the windows and that, making sure all the classrooms are neat and tidy. On the day of the Ofsted inspection, you got all the teachers coming in suits and ties and like what a rascal. I remember that. I remember when they used to have the Ofsted inspection. Every teacher, all the male teachers, come in shirt and tie. You know, like why are you not doing that on a normal day? Yeah, why are you making sure? I remember they used to have assemblies before the Ofsted inspection, you know, prepping us. That should have been the day we set fire to the blood clot school. No, disclaimer, innit, yeah? No pitneys, no one should be watching this. That was a joke. Don't set fire to your blood clot school, yeah?
To putting in extra resources on this estate to get this right.
These homes may have reached the end of their life, but their replacements haven't even started being built. In the meantime, residents fear their suffering will continue to be met with silence.
Madness. Imagine having mice running around in your yard. And you know what? There's certain people, they really forget where they come from, you know. So, one of my peoples knows someone and I also know them. And I remember one time I went to their flat where they're now living, to do local electrical work. And I can't remember what we was talking about, but we got onto the subject of cars. And I said that, yeah, you know, I wouldn't mind driving a Nissan Juke. And I remember this woman said to me, a Nissan? And I said, yeah. And she was like, a Nissan? I said, yeah. What's wrong with a Nissan? Obviously, there's better range of cars than that. But she was looking down on the fact that, like, I wouldn't mind driving a Nissan and that. Because obviously, she's driving a Range Rover now. But this idiot needs to remember where she comes from. See, she used to be driving a fucking Daewoo Matiz. Do you know what a Daewoo Matiz is, blood? If you don't know what that is, it's for that particular reason. It's for that exact reason. A Daewoo Matiz is some shit little car. Yeah? I remember this woman was a single mum, struggling financially and that. I remember one of my people said to me that when she went to the same single mum that's looking down on a Nissan Juke and that, she went to her, because right now she's living in a nice little flat block and that with her husband or whatever. But she's only living in that nice little flat block because she's going halves on her mortgage. And more than likely, it's probably shared ownership anyway. So they're not even going to own the entirety of the property. They're paying rent plus paying off the mortgage, which is, I mean, I'll talk about shared ownership in another video anyway. So she feels like, yeah, she's doing all well and good and that because she's living in a nice little flat block. But you're like in your 50s and that. Why are you still living in a fucking flat? You should be living in a nice detached house and that. Or at least a fucking terraced house. See, if she could afford to live in a terrace house, she would, but she can't, so she has to live in a flat. Anyway, she's living in a nice little flat block and that nice little top floor flat or whatever. And she's looking down on a man for saying that he was driving Nissan Juke. But this woman needs to remember, one of my people used to go and check her back in the day when she was living in temporary accommodation. And literally, she had mice running around on the countertop, you know. Like, one of my peoples went there and she jumped out of the way, like, rah, there's rats and that. And the person that was living there, the one that's now living in a nice flat, looking down on a Nissan Juke because they got a Range Rover and that, she just moved the rats along when she was preparing some food or whatever on the work surface. You need to remember where you come from, innit? I'm not saying be poor for the rest of your life, obviously. But, blah, don't be looking down on people and that just because you're driving a Range Rover and you live in a nice little flat block. The only reason why you're living there is because you're going halves with someone. Take that person away, remove that person from the equation. Where would you be? You'd be in a fucking council block looking down on people when you used to live in a flat where the flat was so infested by mice, you was used to them. You was immune to it. You was able to just brush them off and brush them to the side and that. You wasn't even scared of them. You're so used to mice. How mad is that? Never forget where you come from, man. Stay wise. Don't know.